Last time on the oldest Slaughtermap series, we looked at Amanda.WAD, which was supposedly released on the 25th of July, 1994. In that video, I asked if anyone knew of any older maps which may have some kind of vague elements of slaughtery gameplay. Well, after several months, someone has recommended something. Shout out to user VolleyValley5281, who's pointed us all towards SQUID.WAD, a very mysterious Doom 1 PWAD, but which does indeed have some vaguely slaughtery combat. What is so mysterious about it? Well, first of all, neither the author or the exact release date are known. However, if you look at the file's metadata, the date modified is the 20th of February, 1980. Maybe the author was one of these guys, just messing with us all. If that date were somehow possible, and Doom actually existed at the time, John Lennon could have played this WAD. Obviously that date can't be correct. However, that leaves open the question, when was this WAD released? DoomWiki says somewhere in 94, and speedrunner Ryback estimates as early as April of 94. Now this is a bit contentious. It's possible the WAD was released as late as 95. However, Squid could be older than Amanda.WAD, and so, just in case, I'm going to include it in this series and play it. So, strap yourselves in and get ready to witness the mysterious, just very slightly slaughtery Doom 1 era, partially broken, and very strange SQUID.WAD. Okay, are you ready to witness SQUID.WAD? It is map 1 of Knee Deep in the Dead. Let's go. Let's UVMax this thing just to show it off. And just to start off with, no, it did not come with the Chrono Trigger music. Chrono Trigger wasn't even out at the time that this WAD came out. I've just added that so that we're not listening to At Doom's Gate again. And I'm playing in comp level 0, and this is indeed Doom 1. So here we go, this is the opening area. The whole map is pretty bright, but this is an interesting start, like the barbecue, I guess, or like the demons sort of showing off their kills in the Teck base. But yeah, look, the doors are stretched out. This texture isn't correctly aligned, all that sort of thing, but let's go. Look at the size of that door, by the way. And before we get into the potential somewhat vaguely slaughtery stuff, we do have to deal with some other sections, starting with a maze. I mean, it's, baby's first attempt at making a Doom map, what a lot of people do, they make a maze. That's what Tom Hall did, and that's what a lot of people did. But don't worry, we will get to large hordes of enemies in big open areas eventually. Also, if you can think why I may have used this particular Chrono Trigger track as the music, leave a comment below. Okay, now here's a trope that you're going to see throughout the map. Rather than like doors, there's these sort of gates. You press the switch and then a big chunk of wall comes down. It's actually kind of cool. I mean, so the architecture in this map is incredibly blocky and simple, but there is something kind of intriguing about moments of it. I feel like whoever this author is, unknown, they had potential. And I wonder if they did go on to make more Doom maps, maybe, much better ones that we actually all still know about as well. It's kind of interesting. Like having these gates as like a theme or a motif throughout the map. See, it's kind of cool. It's a cool idea to have so early on in the custom mapping era. Custom mapping era, so who knows how old this WAD is exactly, but there are credible estimates that it could be from early 94, meaning this is pretty damn old. Also check this out. That is not somewhere we can go. That is a complete visual glitch. So there's a solid here, but it just doesn't show up for some reason. And so yeah, I'm playing this map in PrBoom, and I debated long and hard with myself about whether to play it in the original EXE or not. But I've gone with PrBoom because it makes it a lot easier for me to add the music. I don't have to convert it to a .mus. And I checked in the vanilla executable. Oh, look at these texturing errors. What the hell is going on? This is a good demonstration. PrBoom does very faithfully emulate exactly all the visual glitches that the vanilla executable was doing as well. So everything you see is indeed how it looked, just with a better resolution, actual widescreen, and 60 FPS. All of those things added up is why, I'm trying to do a video here, like I'm presenting the map, so I want it to be as easy to see for all of you as possible, and that means using PrBoom. The vanilla source, I nearly called it a source port, how wrong is that? The vanilla executable, I mean, it would have been a little bit more faithful, but it wouldn't have looked that much different. Now, here are some more crazy tropes that this map has, really 90s level stuff. The teleporter flat as the ceiling, using obstacles like lamps as, ways to like section off areas. Like, what's wrong with walls? What is wrong with walls? I guess these make like cages. That's something that this is nothing, by the way, there's no secrets. It's just a texturing error. Yeah, that's something that this map sets off in my imagination like crazy. Oh yeah, this is not a teleporter. It's just to mark that you got the red key, I guess. It's red. Yeah, this map, you can see the author's mind working in this map. And what I mean by that is like their creativity, their, ideas, what sort of comes to their mind when they're trying to sculpt a 3D world. You can sort of see it in a really raw and unfiltered way. Because back then, in the time that a map like this was being made, there was nothing to go off except the IWADs, basically, and maybe a couple of other people's custom maps as well. But there weren't like sort of, agreed upon tropes like there is in mapping these days, like certain ways to mark secrets or certain architectural motifs that you can fall back on if you need to, just to create maps for gameplay's sake. A lot of, the visuals and the playstyles and stuff that were being made up then had to just come from absolute raw, unfiltered creativity. And this map has some interesting proto-ideas in it of that kind, such as the cages, such as the use of those gates with the switches. It's pretty interesting stuff. I mean, okay, yeah, this is bizarre and stupid looking, but this, along with like the hanging corpses in the intro area, oh yeah, there are a bunch of stuck enemies in this map. Those kind of things, they, you can see where the author may have ended up going, and it may have ended up becoming cool ideas as they refined them. It's interesting. Also, here's an interesting visual glitch. Is this a slime trail? I don't think so, because it's such simple architecture. I don't know how it could be a slime trail. Also, well, this is a wider pole than the other poles you can see. But yeah, the vanilla executable renders this as well. I don't know what's going on. Looks fine in Doom Builder. Anyway, we now have the blue key. Let's move on. Finally, I mean, this room actually, I was talking about creativity and so on, but that room had somewhat slaughtery combat. Well, we're getting there. We are really getting there. Oh yeah, look at this. This door, like this entire hallway is the door. So you can advance forwards and yeah, the door's just bumping me in the head and I can just keep going forwards. And for whatever reason, the author decided this entire hallway should be a door. People in this day and age felt like they were just throwing ideas at the wall and seeing what stuck. And it was fine, it flew at the time because everyone was just so blinded by the novelty of being able to make not only 3D maps, but relatively complicated ones for the first time ever. I mentioned in my review of TNT how John Carmack reckons Doom is Turing complete from a design sense. And these early maps kind of illustrate part of what he means, I think, which is that there's enough for you to do with Doom's engine that you can make believable worlds. I mean, look at myhouse.pk3. That's created a bit of a sensation in the gaming world lately. It's just a Doom WAD, but an incredibly creative one. Now, I mean, some of you may be laughing or rolling your eyes at me mentioning my house while looking at this crap. I'm not trying to directly compare the two, I'm just talking about a concept, And, well, now with the yellow key, we can actually go back here. It's something about this map, SQUID.WAD, really just gets me thinking, about how much Doom maps these days do often end up sort of using tropes that other people have come up with and following themes that have been long since established over decades, and then seeing these raw 90s maps, it's an interesting window into people's minds, I guess. Not that modern maps aren't, but it's, you know, there's a different window into people's minds with these older maps that's, you know, not as common anymore, and it's become interesting again. You know, we've come full circle. These maps were interesting at the start when they were novelties, then they became utter trash, and now they're kind of becoming interesting again. They're a really interesting time capsule. Okay, now it's time to focus on what the hell this video is all about. Is this a slaughter map? We're getting there now. This room, a little bit slaughtery. Look at the size of this door, by the way. All the doors are enormous. A lot of stuck enemies there. I don't think I need to worry about too much. And yeah, look, you know, talking about no established ideas, this room uses the teleporter flat as its floor and ceiling, because I guess why not? At the time, you know, just because the IWAD maps did it, I guess people wanted to do their own thing. And so using the teleporter flat for not teleporters, that's my own thing. People got better. We stand on the shoulders of giants these days, and well, SQUID.WAD, it's not one of those giants, but it's interesting to look at nonetheless. Alright, we have the plasma rifle finally, and mega armor. Now, it is time to get into what I think is the undeniable, vaguely proto-slaughter-esque part of this map. We've seen a couple already, some big rooms with, you know, a couple of dozen enemies in them that you just got to mow down in a big open space. It's basic, you know, real basic sort of vaguely slaughtery stuff. Oh yeah, missing textures. Also, this room has the one difference compared to the vanilla executable. There are so many sprites on screen here that in vanilla Doom, they just disappear, making this room extremely hard to play. That was the one thing that made me really contemplate playing this in the vanilla executable, just to show that off. But in the end, I've decided, like I said, for visual, I guess, you know, your viewing pleasure, let's not do that. Let's look at the map for real. I mean, I guess you could argue for real is the vanilla executable, but whatever. I wanted to be able to see what I was doing. So the map is kind of broken, as you can see by the texturing errors, the visual glitches, and the enormous sprite pop-out. Is that what it's called? Pop-out. Also, yeah, look, this is not a way through. This is just another one of those big visual errors. Really trippy through to that other room that we were looking at before. Anyway, let's open this up. Get that cyber fighting a bit. Let's see if I can drag him out. Fight some of these barons. Come out here, cyber. And I find that missing bit of wall over there, it really confusing. Alright, let's get the cyber out of there. The reason why is behind him is something that will help me fight him. Use that in. Took a couple of plasma bolts pretty well. Alright, screw this, I'm killing everyone myself. I just want to... Oh, he's still busy, that's why. Here he is. Alright, come all the way out. And as you can see by the kill counter, it's going to be just this guy and probably one imp. Yeah, this imp. And we get given lots and lots of ammo. This is a bad spot, but it's okay. Come on, mate. Okay. Nice time to attempt to shoot me when you can't actually see me. Alright, I'm just going to start spamming BFG, I think. No need to two-shot when I have so much ammo. And, well, there we go. That was SQUID.WAD. This is the exit switch right here. So, Slaughter, you be the judge. Leave a comment below if you think this had any kind of links to Slaughter. I think you can see by the bodies on the floor, it kind of does. And as I was saying in the intro, this map, there is decent evidence that this map could date from before July in 1994, maybe as early as April, which would make it extremely old by Doom custom maps standards. The first ever agreed upon one or known map is from early March in 94, so this may only be within the first month of custom Doom maps, SQUID.WAD, and it already had this kind of slaughtery, light, vague, proto elements of that kind of gameplay, as well as just being visually bizarre and yet pretty playable. Like it is strangely fun, despite how incredibly simple and weird the map is, you know? Nothing special, super easy. And yeah, like objectively, if you're going to like create a list of criteria and say, is this a good Doom map or not, it would probably fail and be called a bad Doom map. But it's interesting. You know, I'm really fascinated by coming back to these really old maps and just getting a window into people's minds, like I was trying to philosophize about. Anyway, that's the latest installment of old Slaughter maps. If you think you know of any that are older than July, I'm still going to leave the benchmark at Amanda.WAD, 25th of July 94, because this may not be older than that. So we'll leave the benchmark there. If you think you know of any that are made before the 25th of July 1994, please let me know in the comments, because I'll play them too. This is kind of like a bonus episode, just in case this one is older. Interesting nonetheless, I really enjoyed it. And if you know of any old interesting maps, let me know, because as you can see, if I get an interesting comment that points me to an interesting map, I will probably make a video on it. I think it's really fascinating to look at. The history of all these old Doom WADs is kind of like a little art museum, which is fun to go and explore these days. Hope you enjoyed how to look at SQUID.WAD. It was, yeah, I recommend downloading it and playing it for yourself. It's fun in a strange kind of way. Anyway, that's all for this episode. I'm out now. Peace.